Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. It is a cloudy day, but I want to give you guys a 10-month update on the Zero Tolerance 0308. This year, 2021, Zero Tolerance is going to bring out a different version of this knife. It's the tiger stripe with the black G10. So I figured, hey, why not bring my take on this knife after several months of carrying and using it, and help you to make a decision if you're kind of on the fence if this knife is right for you. So with that being said, just the overall summary, after 10 months, like I said, of carrying and using it, I feel like this is a big, robust knife for folks that like to carry smaller knives. And just as a reference, I have small to medium sized hands, so a lot of the knives that I carry are on the smaller end, like maybe 3.25-inch blade. So this is kind of an exception, but like I said, I've really enjoyed carrying and using this knife, and I'm gonna get into the reasons why. The first reason why is the acoustics. When I say acoustics, I mean the sound that the knife makes when you're opening and closing it. So I hope the sound kind of translates through the video okay, but here it goes. Let me do that again. Yeah, the way I would describe the sound of this knife is very tingy, is very metallic, is high on the treble end and then lower on the bass end if you're like a sound guy. When I first saw this knife, I thought the sound, the acoustics of this knife would be more of like a thunky kind of a very just bassy sound, but actually it's very tingy, very metallic. I love it. Yeah, I hope that you could hear that. And I don't know if it's it's because of that window, or I don't know the reason why, but it's just a very pleasant, like, metallic sound. The second thing I love about this knife is the action. Oh my god, the action on this is incredible. It's silky smooth. It's running on the KVT ball bearing pivot. And when I took this knife apart and I compared it to the other ZT knife I have, so for example, I'm going to bring out the 0562 Ti, I noticed that ZT used the larger ball bearing pivots on the 0308 versus the 0562. So it's just, I just feel like it's more robust, it's tougher, and it really helps with that incredible, just silky smooth drop shutty action. So when I say drop shutty, I mean boom, that's what I mean. And I think also a part of that drop shutty action is also the the blade is fairly heavy, so it will kind of drop shut on its own weight, but it is incredibly buttery, silky smooth. I love it. Boom. The next thing I love about this knife, moving on, is the flipper tab. I feel like this is a perfect compromise between giving you enough real estate to confidently deploy that knife while not being overly obtrusive, or as Nick Shabazz calls it, a pocket pecker. You know what I'm saying? I love how they've really kind of made that flush with that angle. And so when you're going to deploy that knife, it feels very natural, very comfortable to do that. Yeah, and I love when you deploy that, when the knife is deployed, the lines of the tab is integrated perfectly with that choil. I want to bring out one of the knives that I have. This is, I love this knife. This is the We Knives Mini Buster. Amazing knife, but one thing you'll notice is the flipper tab on the Mini Buster is kind of small. So once in a while, I'll kind of miss it and then kind of ride over that. But with the 0308, it's hard to do that. You'll pretty much deploy it every single time. And they do give you that jimping right there, and it's not overly aggressive. It gives you just enough traction to boom, do that. Moving on, the next thing I love about it is the slim carry profile. Even though this is a wide knife this way, it's fairly slim this way. So What that means is that when you have it in the pocket, it rides very flush against your body, which I think is really, really nice. You know, let me bring out, for example, the 0562. And I would say, you know what's weird? See, okay, when I compare the 0308 profile is wider, but I don't know why it feels as slim or slimmer than the 0562. I don't know what it is. But yeah, it feels very slim in the hand and in the pocket. Next thing I love about it is the maintenance. Oh, this knife is so easy to maintain, to take apart, to clean and put back together. You know, what you got here is T8 screws, 3 of them right here, and then you got this, I mean, incredibly robust pivot screw, which is actually very easy to take apart. All you need is like an adjustable or like a flathead wrench, and then you just twist that and it comes off. So you don't need like a special tool. See that part? See how it's flat right there, and then also flat on this end. So really, you just gotta boom and then twist, and then it just comes apart. Super, super easy. And so if you're kind of into that, you know, you want a knife that's just, you know, no frills, you know, easy to maintain. Dude, this knife really does it. You know, it's really easy to take apart and take care of. And then the last thing is just the design. You know, when I first saw this knife, man, it reminded me of the old ZTs, you know, back in the day when they were just all about the robust tank-like knives, you know, like just bulletproof, will handle anything type of deal, you know. I feel like in the last few years, ZT has really diversified, you know, their lineup to include, you know, they still have very robust knives, but they've also, brought other things to the market, more slim, more gentleman carry, type of designs. But man, this thing really kind of reminds me of their old like design DNA, and I love that, you know. And I'm glad that ZT's doing that. They haven't like, forgotten their roots, you know what I mean? And so yeah, that's what really like brought me to it. It's just like, oh man, it's like when I first started on my knife journey like 10 years ago, that's what ZT was all about, you know. And so it just kind of like really brought me back to those early days, and I really, really like that. So good on you, ZT, for doing that. Now, moving forward to kind of the things that I don't like, and like, you know what, I want to say this is my own take on it, and it's not a knock against ZT, because I feel like ZT is an amazing company, but just my personal like experience, you know. So first thing, it has a wide profile. So like I said, even though it does have a very slim profile, it is a wide knife. It is a big boy, you know. It's a thick boy, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you're kind of in an office setting and you're wearing like khakis or dress pants all day, you're gonna feel it. It's definitely going to be like a boat anchor in your pocket, you know. This knife is pretty much gonna take up a lot of real estate in terms of this way, you know what I'm saying? So I would say typically you wouldn't be able to fit in other things in that same pocket. The next thing is that the price is $300, right? So I feel like nowadays, there's a lot of competition in that $300 range. I'm not saying that it's not worth $300. Obviously I paid for it, and I think it's like great. I think you're getting a lot of knife for that money, but I do want to point out that you could get a lot of knife for $300 nowadays. You have you have some of the Riot stuff. You got Civivi, you got, there's so much competition out there. So I feel like the $300 range, man, it's a very, very just stacked card, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to point that out. And then the third thing is just, even though it's really easy to break down and maintain, when I did that, it was a little bit hard to center the blade back, so it's a little off center to the left, as you can tell. And so, I mean, I think it's, I think it's a matter of really just kind of playing with the body screws and the pivot screws to get it just right without like over tightening the screws, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I do like knives where it's just like super easy to just put back together and everything is centered, everything's good to go. This one was a little bit hard. That was my best attempt to center the blade without compromising the action or over tightening the screws. And so yeah, that's that. If you don't care about that, then don't even worry about it, you know. Otherwise, that's the only cons I have about. I mean, I would even say it's cons. You know, I had to be super like nitpicky to even try to find those things. I feel like overall, so this knife I feel like is great for folks who wear jeans on a regular basis. Like I said, this is this is a heavy knife. You know, this is like it clocks in at like 7 ounces. So you're definitely going to feel it in the pocket. And I feel like if you wear jeans like every day, then it won't be as you won't feel the weight as much. But if you're wearing like dress pants, if you're wearing like you know, slacks and stuff, man, yeah, you'll definitely feel it. So yeah, this is great for people who just wear jeans, you know, or cargo pants all day. Next thing, I feel like this knife is great for people with big hands. You know, I have small to medium sized hands. I still feel like it feels really good in the hand, but this, I feel like if you have big to extra, like large to extra large hands, I feel like, man, this thing will fit you like a glove. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the next one is that this knife would be great for folks that just, you know, their cutting tasks require like a robust, very tank-like knives, you know? I feel like this knife could pretty much handle every cutting, slicing, prying. I mean, I wouldn't recommend prying, but I feel like definitely it could handle that. Hacking if it needs to be. I feel like it's just, yeah, it's a bulletproof knife for sure. I mean, it feels like that in the hand. It's very substantial, right? And so yeah, if your cutting needs require like a diversity of needs, then I feel like you cannot go wrong with this knife. The next thing is that, like I said, it's easy to maintain in the field. You know, if you're a type of person where you're not, you know, indoors a lot, maybe you're outdoors or whatever, and you have like a wrench or whatnot, and it torques a bit, man, you take it apart out in the field, clean it up, put back together, and you're good to go. And then lastly, I feel like if you love like a great flipping action and acoustics, oh, this knife is for you. You know, this knife is definitely for you. It has a very addictive flipping action. It just feels so good. It feels so good. It's so authoritative. It is so just substantial. Yeah, so with that being said, I hope this video helped you. And I don't know if I'm gonna buy the variation with this tiger stripe, but I may, you know, and maybe sell this or trade it for that, or I don't know. But I definitely, this is a keeper in my collection for sure. With that being said, thanks so much for watching, guys. And if you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear them. I would love to hear your experience with the ZTO 308. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye.